I'm about to downgrade my current GPU to the GTX 960 for the next 7 days. This is a 9-year-old card and I paid $30 for it. I'm going to give it a run for its money and see what we can do with this thing and whether I like it or not. We then removed our 2060 Super so that we could make room for the 960. And now we can turn it on. We might need to flick the power supply first. This officially commenced day 1 of using the 960. It low-key looks hard, I'm not even gonna lie, it actually looks pretty cool. And there it is. I went and installed the graphics drivers while doing some work and had no issues. But obviously a GPU isn't going to impact general tasks that aren't GPU intensive, so I wasn't feeling the impact of my downgrade yet. All until so it looks like we're going to be thrown straight into the deep end because I didn't know how well Fortnite was going to be able to perform at. So after testing performance mode, DX11, DX12 and all the graphical settings, I settled with DX12 low quality graphics. This performed at an average of about 67 frames per second. And for consistency, I did all my testing in this crazy Fortnite map called Drive City.
We gotta airstrike some lads.
Bro, this guy just hit us.
But there was one thing about this GPU that really impressed me. Its temperature was actually really cool. I don't even think it broke 65 degrees, which honestly, I don't even think I've seen that before. Coming back, I was not buying this 60 degree stuff. Even though it's theoretically a good thing, I don't think it's true. There is no excuse for a 960 to not be running at least 70 degrees or more. So we're going to really push this thing to see if we can hit that 70 degrees and ideally 80. And what more than some good old Minecraft to test that. Okay, so here we are in Minecraft, we're at 52 degrees, and mind you, it's probably because the fan isn't spinning. We don't have any shaders or any fancy resource packs yet. But this graphics card isn't sweating yet, so we're gonna have to apply some shaders. I've just picked this random one off the internet and instantly our temperature rose to about 61 degrees. Our FPS also dropped quite a lot to around the 20 mark. But as time went on, the temperature just didn't go up anymore. It just stayed at that 63 mark. I don't think it hit 65 at all once during this whole test. Alright, now it's time to get serious. We're going to put the texture packs in and see how far we can go now. Even after putting a texture pack on, the temperatures actually got better. They were never as high as they were originally when we first did the shaders. Now I honestly didn't understand this, but I guess it's good for the 960. And I even brutally tested this thing. I was getting it on 5 frames per second and it still wasn't budging. We managed to get it back up into the 60s, but that was it. Now I began to get curious, so I ended up just looking it up. I found this article where they did a bunch of tests on GTX 960s from different manufacturers and found pretty much every number was underneath 70 degrees, which meant that my goal was pretty unattainable. Now, there was pretty much only one option left, and it was to give overclock. I figured we could just mess around with MSI Afterburner and boom, we'll hit 70 all day, every day, however long we want to. I just slid the sliders as far as they went. I didn't really care and I just wanted to hit that 70 degree mark. And honestly, I thought all was good until, yeah, this happened. Oh, that is a restart, my friends. Well, we learnt something. I'm sure you can understand that as a man of passion, just trying to hit my 70 degrees, that I may have acted recklessly. Fair enough. Now, I'm not an idiot. This is a $30 card and I honestly don't mind risking it at all, so it is what it is. It didn't help that my overclocking experiment resulted in the crashing of my video editor and the corruption of my file. Hate to say it, but the 960 officially had one up on me. Since I didn't really know what I was doing, I looked online for a quick overclock that I could do that looked a lot more sensible to me. So it looked like I was going to rise the core clock by 115 megahertz and rise the memory clock by 200 megahertz. So we rose those numbers by the appropriate amount and I was ready to finally launch some Minecraft with shaders of course and see if we can get that 70. Okay, well I think that failed pretty miserably. I think we got this result because the fans ramped up more than what they were at before, and I think that's what the overclocking made it do. I didn't directly do anything, but That's the only thing I can blame as to why the temperatures would be so low. Because there's no way we see like a 20-degree drop difference when we overclock versus the unoverclocked. I don't really understand what happened here. While I didn't reach my goal of being able to make the 960 hit 70 degrees or anything even over 65, this actually does a really good service to the 960. This thing was a tank at keeping its temperature, so I got to give it credit. This is probably the most positive thing. Now that it's been a few days into this whole thing, I wanted to see how the GTX 960 compared against the original RTX 2060 Super. When using the 960 in Heaven benchmark, I was able to get a score of 736. But with the 2060 Super, I was able to get a score of 2,744.
Good morning, it is day 5. I'm feeling a bit sad because my 2060's just been on my desk, just sitting there with the motherboard I did for my short the other day, and meanwhile I'm stuck with this thing. But anyway, we'll just turn it on for our day to begin. It's day 7, I've just woken up and I've turned on my computer this morning and it's pretty cold, and the GTX 960 was sitting at like 22 degrees from startup. Cold just really helped it out, and this thing is taking the piss at me now.
Now that my 7 days is up, I'm literally going to take this out in a few minutes, but in all honesty, this GPU was better than what I thought. I came into this video with the idea that I was just going to shit on and make fun of this thing for being an old card, but it really wasn't the case. It was able to perform for my needs. Everyone else's needs will change, but it was okay for what I needed it for, and I was just impressed, especially with that cooling thing. But anyway, thank you for watching my video. I hope you like my process of using this thing for 7 days. Like and subscribe if you wish to, and I'll catch you in the next video. And also, maybe this card was too strong and maybe I should use a card like the GTX 650. I do have one in the closet. Maybe I'll use that in another video. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.